Why do capable people feel lonelier than expected? This week we transition the IET video series to relationships and intimacy and begin to explore how high-functioning individuals relate to others and the impact that their high functioning has. We tend to correlate loneliness to isolation. No people in our social network, no events happening, no friends with whom we are regularly in contact with. But the truth is that while there can be indeed isolating and can feel lonely, there's a subtler and more insidious form of loneliness that high-functioning individuals suffer from. The loneliness I'm speaking of comes from two primary reasons. First, that people around high-functioning individuals relate to their scripts, and two, that high-functioning people do the same with themselves. When the high-functioning person enters a family system, a social system, a professional system, they tend to occupy specific roles. Over time they get typecast, so to speak, and it becomes a very easy identity to connect with because society gives us reward and recognition and affirmation about how well we are doing in supporting the system. And so the net result is that eventually people around us relate very strongly to what we do for them and for the system, but because we seldom make space and they very seldom become curious about who we actually are behind the doing, we end up feeling this sense of disconnection, appreciated and affirmed in some ways because of what we do, but feeling that ultimately no one knows who we are. And so in moments of quiet, peaceful time, when we're on our own and we can finally allow what's within to bubble up to the surface, that is when we begin to hear that voice coming from our essence that says, I'm here too, I want to connect, I want to be seen, I want to be heard. So here's my reflection for you this week. If you look at the closest relationships in your life and you stopped doing all the things that you know are sustaining those relationships, what would be left? How would it feel to relate just because of who you are, just because you exist, just because you are there, and not because you're doing something for them? Until next week.